Hey everybody, how's everything going? I hope everybody is doing good today on this Wednesday. Okay, I'm just making sure that all the microphones are working correctly. Let's see. Okay. Hair isn't too bad. What are you going to do, right? Just make sure microphone. Everything should be good. Let me go ahead and put in the chat for YouTube. Okay, and okay, hey Wendy, how you doing? Willie, so it was actually on time, you know, 9:30. I think that's the sweet spot. I think 9 o'clock's a little too crazy to get everything started. So today was a very busy day airbrushing. How you doing, Willie? How's everything going? And Wendy, how are you today? So I'm so happy you guys are on here with me. Thank you so much. So remember last week we went ahead and did the actual drawing part, and today we're gonna go into the actual India ink. I've been working in India ink a lot this week, and so I've been doing some really cool things on eBay, and you know, just really wild stuff. So really enjoyable, and you know, it's always good to practice the computer, you know, to practice the airbrush. Let me see if I can get this straight. Okay, that looks pretty straight. I have to be happy with that. Okay, now we're just going to focus. How's it look? Could it be a little bit lighter, guys? What do you think? Because right now I can always just raise the shutter speed just a tad to make it a bit lighter. So I've been using my custom micron like crazy this week. Okay, cool. Thanks, Wendy. So let's just go ahead and raise the shutter speed. How's that? Better? I can even go one lighter if need be. Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Willie. And if it could go even a little bit lighter, guys, that's no problem. I'm glad to do it. It's important that everything is as clear as possible for you guys. Oh, cool. Okay, great. So it's good now, Wendy, right? Okay, great. So last week we were pretty much doing the drawing aspect, making sure that was correct, not rushing into it. So now I think we're ready to really go full force. Like I was saying earlier, I was working with my custom micron all week. This guy right here, and get spoiled with it, you know, the fine lines that you get with this. And then today I picked up my old micron, which was a C+, and it has some problems, and that was frustrating. So right now I'm working with my Eclipse. I'm giving my my custom micron just a little break, you know. Okay, so let's go ahead and work on her eye. So we're going straight in with the airbrush. And this mixture, and I'll go over it, is 3 of these eye drops, full eyedroppers, 3 of them, and then 3 drops of the India ink. It has a little eyedropper in there. That's 3:3 ratio, so I usually do 9 and 9. And it's very thin, very diluted, and as you can see, it's not very dark. So you control as you go on with this method of how much dilution. So you never really ever get to completely black, that's for sure. So you gotta take off the glasses. And right now we're basically just sketching, you know. Nothing too fancy, just getting some of the big shapes. And notice when I'm doing larger areas, I pretty much have the airbrush further away from the paper. So you know why I'm not on Facebook anymore? I don't know what's going on. Every time I go on there, it sort of kills my live stream, saying something that I had too many false starts or something like that, which I haven't. So I'm not sure what that's about. So I actually contacted Higgins today, and you know, I left a message with someone in marketing, letting them know that I'm doing something special with their material, you know, with their India ink. So I hope to hear from them. If I don't, I'm going to keep trying until at least get a hold of somebody, because they should know that, you know, we're now doing something with their India ink that I don't think has been done much before. So you see how I'm just basically, it's almost like I'm sketching, guys, and you know, this I'm working with a pencil, so it's very similar to that, and that's why I love this technique. It's very similar to just working with a pencil. It's like I'm sketching, you know. And I'm not going as dark as I want to go. So I start out a little on the light side and then gradually get darker and darker. And the whole idea of this technique is to build your values up, and then at the very end you hit your darks, your darkest darks and your lightest lights, and it just pops. It's really great. Let me show you some things that I've been working on. Here's one thing. This was the male nude that I did at this technique. It was a lot of fun, but it didn't really come together till the end. And that's the same with this. It won't come together until the end, until I come in with those really nice darks, and then the lights will make all the hard work in the beginning and the middle come together. Here's a case in point of something. Thank you, Wendy. Here's a case in point of something in the mid-game. You see how the darkest darks aren't in here yet? I haven't gotten the dark of the background. So it really isn't all there yet. And so that's what we're doing. It takes time to evolve. But patience, right? We just have to have the patience. And of course, you know, Natalie Wood, you know, that was one of the first ones with this technique. So this technique really does work, and I really, thank you, Wendy. I really feel that it's something that is, if I develop it, it could be really great. And I'm glad I'm able to share it with you guys. And I really hope that you do some of this technique, because it's a lot of fun. Thank you. Natalie is great. I love Natalie Wood, right? She's a great she was a great actress. So as you can see, the hard work that we did with the pencil drawing is paying off now. And that's what you want. You want to pay off. You don't want to have to draw with the airbrush. You can, but it's much better to draw with, there you go. Let me pull this down a little bit so I'm not blinding you guys. Okay. Now I got a problem with glare. Okay. Alright, so let's go to the other eye. Just make sure that you're always paying attention to the reference. And always just practice just practice working. Just do a lot of tests. It doesn't even matter how it comes out. Just put in the hours, you know, with your airbrush, and it'll come together. Hey, Brian, how's it going? Yes, this is a new one, Brian. I did the drawing video last week, and so we're going in with the ink today. So this is with the dark paper. This is with the De La Rowney cardstock, and this color is gunmetal, which is a really cool color. And let's see here. So before the live stream today, I made some chocolate cake, and I think it came out pretty good. I haven't tasted it yet. So painting's a lot like making chocolate cake, right? Oh, great. That's so cool. Thanks, Brian. I appreciate that. So as you can see, I'm working on the big areas. And yes, it's very cool. I did it with applesauce. And we'll, you know, later tonight I'm going to try a piece. So just as if I'm sketching with a pencil, no different. I think that's what I love about it. Those of you who have followed me for a while, yeah, that's true. Yes, Wendy. And those of you who have followed me for a while know when I used to travel back and forth to Amazon, I used to do these portraits, the Train Girl series. Yes, the second channel, the baked glyphs, right, Brian? That's funny. Brian says I should do a baking channel. That's pretty funny. Yeah, I've been going crazy with the baking lately. I made a pineapple cake. I think it was on Saturday, and then last week I made a strawberry cake. So I guess I'm in some sort of phase I'm going through. I don't know what that's about, but it's fun. So even though I don't have any instances of tip dry, I'm always going to check, right? You always want to check regardless. You don't want tip dry to happen or it's ill effects and then say, oh, I have tip dry. So it's good to proactively check. That's what I always do. Thanks, thanks, Bride. Appreciate it. So as you can see, this is going. Oh no, ganache. What is that, Wendy? Is that some sort of French chocolate or something like that? So believe it or not, has there been any kind of instances of any kind of stuttering? It seems like it's been a pretty smooth live stream so far. Yes, the latency. Now I did have the latency because actually I'm going to go ahead and record this on a local recording. The, the little bit of delay is good because it has better playback. So that's why I did that. Maybe I should try it with less latency, but we'll see. So we have some, let me go ahead and get this nostril here. And it's always better to airbrush stuff like the nostrils and darks like this because you do get sort of that fuzziness on the edges. And that's good. Thanks, Bri. Thanks, Wendy, for that feedback. So this is, later I'm going to come back with the freehand shield and get some of those hard edges. But I think I'm going to just work around it a little bit, see if I can get some of these darks here. But let's see underneath her eye. Right here is a very hard edge, so let me hit that. So you get that nice hard edge there. And then the same, I would say right here, there's a nice hard edge. There we go. And then maybe right here, we have a nice hard edge. So we want to make sure we get that hard edge. That's really going to help in getting the likeness and also just the realism here. You know, that's what's really important. So there are times when the drawing is not perfect, and it's okay. It's rare that I do this. I always want to make sure that the drawing is tight before I go in with color. But now I'm looking here. So here's the eye. There's a little more distance here. See that? I think I like that a little better. So just a little more distance here on her cheekbone. And I think that's gonna, you know, I think making that adjustment is gonna be good in the long run. Okay, now this is important when we do the creases of the eyelid. So let's go ahead and see if we could there we go, like that. Make sure you have a shirt you don't care that much about and wipe off your go ahead and wipe off your freehand shield, because you don't want to not wipe it off and then it's going to deposit the wet ink from here onto your surface, so that's not good. So I do like that. Hey Jeff, how you doing, man? Good to see ya. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, so now since I did the crease, it's a little thick, so I'm just going to thin it out a little bit as far as the thickness. And there we go. So I'm feeling good about that. And then over here you can see that it sort of disappears as it goes down, so that's not too bad. The ink, I don't think so. But it's kind of black on it, so it's all good. If it was one of my nicest shirts, I wouldn't do it. You know, you always got to wear, I guess, messy clothes, right, Wendy, when you're painting. And this way you can do stuff like that and not be too upset about it. Especially if you're doing a commission or whatever, you know, it's like you don't want to have to do it over again or fix it, right? Okay, so we went ahead and did the crease on this side, so let's go ahead and work on this side here. Let's make sure we got a good flow here. Let's see. And yes, definitely, Wendy. I know you must have very nice clothes, so I don't recommend that. But I should have designated paint clothes. There we go. So you see we got some nice nice things happening with her eyes. But you can see we're still very smoky. We haven't came in with any really dark. Exactly. That's true. That's so true, Wendy. And of course, always clean up. That's a great thing about this technique. It erases rather easily, and that's really a great fringe benefit. And also the pencil lines just basically disappear. They're so easily erased, and they're just a non-issue. You just want to make sure, where we drew that, we want to keep that beautiful line there. And remember, we're working very light right now. It's once again, 3 of these dots of ink, drops of these inks with full eyedroppers. So do me a favor, if you want to, I'm gonna scan this. If you want to try this, this is my list of all the mixtures from very light. Let me see if I'm just going to darken so you can see. So here's the mixtures from almost white all the way to black, of ratios to eyedroppers of water to those drops of ink. So just go ahead and send me your email address and I'll email it to you guys, okay? And this way, that would be pretty cool. So definitely do that. I'm going to scan it and I'll email that to everyone tomorrow morning. Let me lighten that back up. Okay, cool. So let's see. So my email address is paintedglyphs@gmail.com, and you can always find that you know, on Facebook, and you could find me on Facebook or paintedglyphs.com, my website. My Gmail's on there. So definitely, this is a resource that everyone needs if they're going to be doing this work. You don't want to be guessing, like, is it dark or not too dark? With this method that I devised, you'll be able to know what value you're going to get. And with this, it's so crucial to work from your light to dark, you know? And you don't want to, working with something with too dark, it's almost like shooting yourself in the foot. Let me see, I have all these different freehand shields. They're not stencils, they're freehand shields, and basically they help to get nice edges like that. See that? So you want to get, that's why, you know, airbrush is so great, is because of the edges, because of the edge work. And like I said, you're always correcting with this technique, you know. Well, this one I made myself, this one right here. And I believe you can get this material at AC Moore or Hobby Lobby. And what I do is I just draw out the design I like that has different shapes. And then I cut it with an X-Acto knife. And then you can just file down the edges. That's what I did. These are really cheap. I think they're like 50 cents or something like that. The other ones, these are expensive. They're like $14, $15, sometimes $20, and you can buy them at, you know, Dick Blick or Coast Airbrush. So they're pricey. So if you can get away with not using them, definitely that's the way to go. And in this stage, guys, you want to take your time. There is absolutely, positively no rush. And don't worry about what it looks like. Just try and worry about the shapes, the large shapes. Getting rid of the pencil lines. And that would be your best bet now. That's definitely it. So right here, we're going to worry about the dark of the eye. And notice I'm a good distance away. So you guys out there, tell me what airbrushes you have. Now Wendy, I know you have the SBS and the custom micron. How are you with the side cup? Are you comfortable with it? You know, turning it when you are working on a flat surface? Yes. And the Neo is good because it has the cup, the top cup. That's really cool. But how are you feeling with that side cup? Are you comfortable with it yet? Took me a while with the side cup. There's a few times when I sort of dipped it, you know, spilled it on my work. That happened twice, I think. I know Brian has an Eclipse. Brian has the top feed Eclipse, the HP-CS. That's a good brush. Yes, very easy to spill and not much ink. Oh, here's a good side note. Since it's so little, you know, putting in ink like through a cup like this, you're almost always going to put too much in. So I recommend getting one of these other eyedroppers, which is separate from the ones that you're using for the ratio, and you just dip into your mixture and then put it in that way. It's much better and it's much more exact. You don't put too much in there. Yes, the Aztec. Now Wendy was pretty cool. She actually tested the lids for the Aztec, and they actually fit the cups here. Or no, the lids, the cups have lids and actually fits the side feed. So that's pretty cool. Doesn't look as elegant, but hey, it works, right? And if it saves your work from getting destroyed, more power to you, right? That's what I think. Let me darken this eye. When I first started airbrush, I thought I had to get that eye circular first, like paint a circle and then paint inside it. No, that's not how it goes. when you're painting a while in airbrush, you realize it's not as hard as other artists are making it out to be. That's the way they do it, but you know what? They're doing it much too hard, you know? No, me too, Wendy. I think it's easy to do that with those airbrushes, you know, those side cups. Yeah, why would you paint the out contour of the circle when you have an airbrush? Beyond me. I think it's show-offy, and I don't think it's a good way to do it. And I like it because I really feel like already it's starting to look like Angela. Angela's the model for this piece. I love working with this tinted paper because the fact is that you already have that mid-tone, so it's real easy to bring things together. Yes, it does. It makes a circle already, so why in the world would you draw a contour? Don't know. I'm not sure. Don't know why they would do that, but more power to them. But don't watch them if they're going to make things look harder. A lot of times, a lot of these airbrush guys sometimes will do some things to make it look harder, but it really is quite easy. Okay. So we're going to work on this bigger area here. Notice I'm pretty far back because there's a really soft edge here. So when there's a soft edge, make sure you're further back, right? And this is cool. We're going to really, when we darken the hair here, it's really going to create the contour, which is going to be good. Let me just, there you go. Sort of blind you with that light. Sorry guys, let me see if I could, sorry about that. Let me kill that picture here. Yeah, if I kill that, then you won't hear me, so I'm definitely not going to do that. Okay. Alright. So we'll just have this over here. Okay. Just play around with the light until I hit that sweet spot. More important thing is that you guys see the artwork. Oh, that's... What is that, a code? Wendy? Uh-oh. Oh man, yeah, some of the things with computers really get you in trouble. Remember we always say about dagger strokes? Well, you can pretty much do dagger strokes to get contours. And you know, you don't have to do it all in one. The contour really work. So here we got to realize that there's a soft edge here, even though the hair, my inclination would be go ahead, show the contour here, but I'm not going to because that edge is lost with the shadow underneath. this technique also, underspray is really your friend. It's something that actually works for you because you do get that really nice smoky spiritual quality in the work. I like that. So as you can see, as long as you're moving, you're not going to get any barbells. As long as you're always moving, you're never stopping, you're never going to get a barbell. It's always going to be nice soft edges and nice blends. So as you can see, you can gain a lot of control as long as you keep moving. And then we're going to worry about, I don't want to go too far over here because if we do too much hair, it would be overwhelming. And so let's continue working. We have this established here. Let's work on her neck here, her neck area. So any questions, guys, feel free to ask, with this technique or anything like that. I'm definitely here to help out. This looks dark, but this is like way light. It's going to actually, look much darker. Let me put something here, hold that down. Okay, so we can work on, let me make sure. Always continue checking to make sure that you don't have any tip dry and that your brush is working correctly. And you always want to make sure that you're always working the edges, always correcting, refining. So this way you don't run into trouble. Oh yes, the Higgins Waterproof India ink. That's the one. Has to be India. The other waterproofing is, I think it's called Design. Not very good, so it has to say India. I'm sure you did get it. And as you go, you want to make sure that you're erasing those pencil lines, because what's going to happen is the pencil line is going to show up as shiny, and so if you can erase that as you go, that would be great. And then this way you go back over it with the dark. Make sure that we want to make sure we don't lose that really nice contour. Oh yes, the 32 ounce. You have the 32 ounce one of the India ink. Yes, you do, because I remember the link. So that's good, Wendy. That 32 ounce, I think I bought it back in 2010, and I'm still using it. And you can see how much I use the ink. I use it all the time, but I dilute it with this technique. You dilute it so much, I mean, I can see it could last for decades maybe. I just hope Higgins contacts me. They should, because it would be in their best interest. I could really be a good spokesperson for them. Let's hope they come to their senses and realize that we could work together and do some great things. And not come to their senses, but I think it would be mutually beneficial if we did work together, because I really love their product. I think their product is amazing. Yeah, you know, I think it would be a win-win. A win for Higgins and a win for Tim. And a win for this technique that I'm sharing with you guys. And I really can't wait till you guys use it. Because I know you guys will be taking it somewhere that I'm not taking it, and your own experiences and your sensibilities. I'll learn from you. That's how it works. We learn from each other. Let's go ahead and really reiterate those beautiful contours here. When we come in with the really nice dark and the black at the end, that's really going to pop. But right now we're just sort of sketching out. What's really cool, I used to do on these Wednesday night, I used to do the drawing, and those are great. I love doing them, and those are so important. But this is going to actually resolve a lot faster. I think beginning to end of those ones were about 6 weeks. I think this one is probably going to be, oh, I would know, maybe another 3 weeks it should be done, I think. Since I'm doing a lot of these during the day, I think I'm going to be getting a lot faster. And then the techniques I share with you guys are going to be faster. Oh my God, yes, Wendy, the airbrush is like, it's like drawing on steroids. This technique at least. I mean, it would have taken me a while to actually find out those lines, you know? It would have been a lot more difficult. And let's see. So what I'm going to do, right now I'm using the white pastel for the highlights, and it's working out really well. I want to try the white India ink by Higgins. I still have some, and we're going to see how that works. We're going to do an experiment. I don't think on this one, I'm going to do a very small experiment to see, you know, if it works, you know, if it's better. If it's not better, I don't care. I'll work with whatever is better. I don't care if it's, you know, India ink or pencil or whatever. And let's go ahead and establish the hair on this side. I'm not going to get too involved. This is something I can do off camera. It's not anything that is mind-blowing here. Just establishing the hair, really establishing the contours on this side. You'll get better at this on what side to do for your contours. See that beautiful edge that you can get. That's one of the beautiful things about airbrush, is that no other medium you're able to do that. Get that edge like that. I don't care. And any oil painters or acrylic painters out there, I want to see anyone get an edge as beautiful as that right away. That's why everyone, regardless of what medium you're using, you should try airbrush. It's just going to make your life so much easier and open your technique open to some really nice effects. Now here's something interesting. This dark here, so here's our reference. So this dark here, right here, it pretty much lines up with the shadow, cast shadow from her hair. So that's what I want to make sure. And those are different things that you'll really look at. So the cast shadow from her hair comes down maybe right here, and then what I have here is incorrect. So it's okay to always be your own teacher and your own instructor, and always see if you need some correcting. Yes, airbrush, but I never recommend not drawing though. Drawing is everything. Drawing makes you a better airbrush artist. Airbrush does not make you a better draft person. Okay. But as you can see, it really pays to really be hard on yourself in the sense, or real critical of your measurements just to make sure they're correct. Because you can defend your work at the easel, but once it's out, once you're done and you sign it, you have no defense. You can't say but, or this, or that. If something's off, it's off forever. Okay, so we have that. We did measure, so that dark is coming around about like that. And of course this is a cast shadow from the hair, so it's very soft edge, so I'm further away. Further away from the surface. Here we have that really, really soft cast shadow right here. But let's make sure we have that nice edge while we're doing that. You know, when we can, if we see an edge, let's just hit it in the very beginning. There we go. See if it's dark, if it's lighter, I'm just going to be further away. Okay, and then we can go ahead, and it's good to go back and forth with the erasers and the pencils. See right here, there's a little light here. See that? I'm going to make sure we hit that. Notice how easy it erases, which is really great about this technique. I don't think I would have taken this technique as seriously if I wasn't doing those small sketchbook paintings, and that really opened me up to paper, and you know, the rest is history. Okay, so let's darken this area up here, and then we're going to come in with the shadow here on this side. Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is great, Wendy. This is a great technique. So I know you're going to do very well with this once you adopt it. See, right here we have a nice hard edge right here, and then it softens up. So let's see. We have a nice hard edge here, and then it really softens up. So look how far I am away. See that? I'm far away because there's a variety of edges. So you have the hard, and then it softens up right here. Yeah, control comes. You're going to get the control. Like anything else, it's you know, it's just through repetition. You're going to know exactly what the airbrush does. You're not going to think about it. You're not going to think about getting a soft edge. You're not going to think about getting a hard edge or a thin line. It's just going to happen. I mean, that's going to happen. Right now, you have to consciously think, how is that going to happen? How am I going to achieve that? That's a little dark, but you know what? It seems dark now, so I'm going to leave it there. Because it might lighten up if everything else gets darker around it. Yeah, you know, definitely jump in and just keep practicing. The results aren't as important as the practice. That's more important. I remember when I first started Airbrush about 6-7 years ago, and Cass Fuller, you know, pretty famous Airbrush person, you know, airbrush artist. The guy's amazing, and he just said to me, he said, play around with the paint, Tim, and just try different mixtures, different brands, try different distances, see what it does, and play with it, and just figure out what it does. And once you do that, you're going to get a handle on it. But before you do that, you know, unless you do that, it's just going to be too precious, and you're never really going to be relaxed and have that real quick learning. And no, you're going to do really well. I think, Wendy, you're going to do great. You're going to exceed your expectations. See, everything is little dagger strokes. Not everything, but a lot of the technique are dagger strokes. Okay, so around her nostril is some dark. So basically, you don't want to just put darks and then erase the nostril. So it'd be a lot easier if you did it this way. Use this freehand shield. This is another one. This is pretty good. Oh no, you're gonna do great, and you know, it's all about getting better. Right? That's how I look at it. It's all about getting better, so you could better express yourself as an artist. See that? Look at that beautiful edge that we got. That's because we're using the freehand shield, and what makes airbrush, what makes it kick oil paint in the butt, what makes it so much better than other mediums. I like to see one of those oil painter guys do something like that. There we go. See that beautiful hard edges we're achieving. One thing I love about airbrush, it's not stuffy. It's very new, it's very hip, and I think it's all wide open. I mean, incredible airbrush painters out there. I mean, they are just these amazing guys. Drew Blair, Cass Fuller, you know, Javier Soto, just to name a few, really great artists, and pretty cool guys too. But there's only a few of them, so you know, the sky's the limit. I mean, as far as, you know, those of us who are beginning now, we could really make our mark in this field. And you know, I'm going in for the fine arts field. Yes, it is a gadget, isn't that great? And it's a gun, right? You know, I mean, okay, you know, a toy gun, you know, but it's an airbrush gun, and like you say, it has all these parts, and you get to play with it, and I mean, it's like the best of both worlds. It's science and art coming together. And those are mechanically inclined. It's great. You can combine that with your love for art. And I know, Wendy, you're mechanically inclined because you said you like to put together those desks and something. I end up with something that looks like, I don't know, you know, a disaster. It looks like, you know, a mistake. And I used to always beg my brother Kevin, like, please come on over. I'll buy you lunch. Just put this desk together, or even this office chair. It's that bad. Notice how far away I am when doing this part here. See how far away I am from the surface? This is her trachea. Wow, see? That's great, Wendy. It's cool that you have that aptitude. I don't. So I definitely admire that. Definitely. So yeah, this live stream went so smooth compared to last week, right? I think I just gave up on Facebook. I think I'm done with Facebook. I don't think the advantages are there. I mean, yeah, there are a lot of people on Facebook, but it just, the disadvantages outweigh the advantages. And those who, you know, really want to learn this stuff, they can definitely come on YouTube. I can't make it too easy on everybody, right? You know, it has to be some work on their part to come and watch my live streams. So what do you think so far? I think we're getting some really nice headway considering where we started, right? Oh, I'm so glad, Wendy. Maybe after all this, I'll get you to start your own YouTube channel. That would be wild. So Wendy, tell me, how many people are on YouTube, are on this right now? Thanks, Wendy. Can you see how many people are actually on this stream with me? And as you can see, we haven't even begun to come in with some of the really dark colors. We're still at the 3:3 ratio. I think next week we're going to come into maybe 3 to 6. And 3 to 6 would be pretty good. That will make things darker, and then we will work on the lights. But I think we have a pretty good start right now. Let's go ahead and erase this part here. So we're erasing the pencil lines as we go. And what's great, if this was acrylic, those pencil lines would be part of the artwork. It just seals it. But with this technique, you don't have that problem. So it's almost like working with pencil. Actually, it's working with pencil, but better. Years ago, there was this guy who was called Liquid Pencil. I don't know, has anyone heard of that? Liquid Pencil, which was really interesting. And they found a way to actually liquefy, emulsify graphite and shoot it through the airbrush. And that always like really fascinated me, that, you know, that was possible. And I tried it with ethyl alcohol, and there was someone at work who was a physics major and everything, but I never could do it. But this technique actually is closest to pencil, right? I mean, it's really hard, and it's really difficult to tell the difference. This is pencil, and that's airbrush. But it really comes together when you can get those beautiful darks, which you can't get with pencil. So you see here, you know, we have these darks, and it looks great and everything, but we're not getting those rich darks because the graphite doesn't allow you. And Wendy, you can attest when you were doing that one, and it just became so shiny. And look at the beautiful blacks I get with this. This is sort of a game changer in the sense that it's the best of both worlds. And that's what I want to impart to you guys. That you can do work just as easy as drawing, but get those beautiful blacks. And those beautiful blacks, it's what's going to separate this from this. You see that? I'm the same artist. But look what happened. Look at the difference. So, graphite is great, but I think this takes it to the next level. And that's something that we really, really want to take to heart. That this is a technique that you guys really need to pay attention to, because I think it's a game changer. And yeah, you're right, just so much depth, and it's just really great. So this whole idea of, you know, I was doing it for underpaintings. I was doing a lot of underpaintings for my pastels and underpaintings for my airbrush. So I've been doing the India ink for a long time. And hey, Louie, how you doing? Good to see ya. Everybody, this is Louie, and thanks so much for joining us. He's a new member, so really great to meet you, Louie. So this is really a technique that you can do that will take your drawing to the next level, and so you can get these beautiful blacks that just aren't possible with regular graphite. Let me make sure. You can just get these real beautiful darks just so much easier than you could ever get with the pencil. So that's exactly, you know, what we want to accomplish with this. And not only that, you know, when they did the whole liquid pencil thing, which was really great, it was like, oh my god, you can erase it. But with this India ink, you can erase it nonetheless. You can erase it just as that is. You see that? You can really pull out the lights and have no problem erasing it, just as if it was pencil. Actually, better than it was pencil, because I think if you were emulsifying graphite and then went ahead and and sprayed it, I think you're going to have the same problems of not getting that dark and maybe having that shininess, which isn't good. So definitely that's why you want to do the India ink. That's why it's such an advantage. So it's sort of born out of an idea, and I've been doing spraying India ink through the airbrush since the very beginning, like 2010. I actually started doing that, but that was just for underpaintings. Yes, liquid pencil was very interesting. I'm not sure what that was, but it looked really thick, and I wouldn't want to put that through my airbrush, that's for sure, Wendy. Yes, it is. De La Rowney cardstock, Louis. This is gunmetal. Let me see if I could focus that for you. There it is. So it's gunmetal cardstock, and it is 8.5 by 11. So it comes in a pack of 10, Louis, and you get that at Dick Blick, and it's great. There's another color I want you to get, which you'll really enjoy, is called, what is this one called? Okay, Dreadnought Gray. It's a light gray, unlike this, you can see the difference, but you get a whole different effect when you use that with the India ink. And let me show you. So you see the difference. You have this much lighter background, so it gives you room on the light side with this technique, and with this you have room on the dark side, so it's a different look. You see, it's so I don't know if I like this one better than that one. I think they're both great. Believe it or not, the Dreadnought Gray seems a little darker. I mean, seems a little thicker than the this one here. So I also started using vellum, Bristol vellum. That was pretty good. No, I haven't. Where would I get that, Louis? So, and what kind of tooth does that have? Is it textural? So I'm definitely going to take note of that, Louis. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I learned maybe even more from you guys than than you guys learn from me sometimes. Let's see. Okay, so we were working on right here. Since Louis just got here, I'm just going to work for maybe another 15 minutes, just so, make sure that, we don't say, hey, Louis, and then just leave, right? So I'm going to stay on for another 15 minutes for Louis. Oh, okay, nice. I like the fact that it takes the Pit Pastel, because I use that for the white highlights. So that's really good. I'm definitely going to pick me up some and definitely test that out. And what tints do they have? Sort of this type of color and lighter? Oh, you're welcome. You're very welcome. Thank you so much, Wendy. Always being so positive and supportive. I really appreciate that. You are the best, Wendy. Whoop. Let's see. I am going to try and just establish a little bit of that hard edge right now. Not too much, just in some areas, hard edged and soft. Wow, that is great. So I'm definitely going to try that. And you really enjoyed it, huh, Louis? And you see here we have to be very careful of our hands. And I think I was careless here. But I'm able to erase it, thank God. Oh yeah, you know, I used to use Canson years ago. I really despise Canson. So I'm glad it's better than that. So, Louis, would you say you're primarily a airbrush artist or a pastel painter? What's your forte, sir? Wow, Wendy, you have a really good stockpile, that's for sure. Because I remember saying something about vellum, you're like, I got it. So that's pretty cool. Always work back and forth, you know, with the airbrush, making sure you don't lose your drawing. You work so hard on the drawing, don't lose it. Just make sure you keep reestablishing it. That's so important. Oh wow, that's great. That's fantastic. I can't wait to see your work. Do you have a website, Louis, that we can check out, or anything up just yet? We always love to support each other here, you know, that's what's the important thing. We've got a nice community, so glad to have you part of it, Louis. And some weeks this is really hopping, you know, we have a lot of people. I think this is a quiet week. Wouldn't you say, Wendy? It's pretty quiet today. But that's okay because we're giving 100%. Wow, 2 pads, wow. Yeah, those Pick pastels, definitely. So I'm really liking the fact, you know, like I know the model and it really is looking like her. So I feel good on capturing her essence. Sometimes, you know, painting portraits, no matter what you do, you just miss it and you don't know why. Painting portraits is one of the most difficult things I think you could paint and draw, that's for sure. Oh, I love that. Oh, that would be great, Louis. Fantastic. My email address is paintedglyphs@gmail.com, so I'd love to see it. Thank you so much. And what I'll do is also I'll send you, I was telling everyone else, I'll send you this over here, which is, you know, my mixing chart of dilution of the India ink and water to get different values. So I think you'll enjoy that. Thanks, Wendy. I appreciate that. Yeah, because unfortunately I don't have the ability to join in the chat because this is like this is sort of a little app or something like that I use with my streaming software. Thank you, Wendy. You're a lifesaver. Yeah, so anyone out there, just go ahead and email me and I'll go ahead and send that chart. And eventually what we're going to do, little by little, she's going to, you know, her nose is going to come forward and her bottom lip is going to come forward. And those are things that we're working on. But the fact that we can erase, we're going to just take good advantage of that and really make sure we utilize those effects, especially in the lips to get the layering effect. And around the eyes, and just begin that even before we start with the India ink, with, you know, before we go in with the pastel and then the dark accents. So that's where everything comes together, the dark accents and the highlights and all this hard work just sort of falls into place. But right now I'm making sure that I'm not losing all that detail that I did in the drawing stage. And that was last week, and that's still on here, Louis, so you could basically go on my videos, and I think you'll see last week's live stream. And just what I do as far as working on the drawing, what I look for. And I want to make sure that I don't get too mechanical with these edges. Really pay attention to what it's doing to the adjacent tone. That's very important here. Keep it organic. So I think it's a godsend, Wendy, that it hasn't worked out on Facebook. I think I'm going to basically do it on here. For some reason, Facebook just keeps booting me saying something that I had too many, really too brief of streams or something like that. Really bizarre message. I contacted them and said no such thing happened, but what are you going to do? And like I said, this is all very light. It looks dark, but this is just 3 drops of ink to 3 full eyedroppers of water. So that's like a really, really high dilution. Remember, the closer you are, the darker it's going to be, and the more details you can get. Further away, the lighter it's going to be, and also the more smoky the edges are going to be. No detail. Closer for darker. Okay. If it's not working, if you ever, you don't have the proper spray, stop and check what's happening. As you can see here, I am out. I have no more ink. So let's go ahead and put in the 3-3. Now I still have ink left over from my earlier session today with the CM-C+. It's not working all that well. I mean, I think I got to give it a good cleaning. Even sometimes it does that. Yeah, you're right, Louis. Totally right with the amount of drama going on Facebook. I hear you. That's another reason not to be on there. Okay. So it's a great technique if you have the side feeds to use the eyedropper. This way you're not overloading it. And of course I just, test it out, make sure that it's working correctly. Dagger strokes, dots, fades, everything's good. Yes, that's the same strength, the 3-3. I've been working on all day for a piece that I was doing. I think I was painting about 6 hours before today's live stream. Took time off for dinner. And so I would say I did a good 8 hours today with the airbrush. And then yesterday was 8 hours, pretty much 8 hours Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. But I'll tell you, the control is really there. I mean, it really is paying dividends. Just pay good attention to what's happening, how dark it is. And of course, we're not really going for the exact value now. It's still early. But we're really worrying about the strength, and we don't want to go too dark. What I like to do in not killing my board or my table, just put a paper underneath. And as you can see, I'm not worrying about how wispy it looks at this point. It's still early, so we're like a chess player, you know. We're thinking about the end game as we're working in this stage. We're doing 6, 7, 8, maybe more moves ahead. As I always say, look how far away I am from the surface. Let's see if I could change the angle. Here, let's work on this dark. Worry about this here. You'd be surprised, even though this is a real tiny cup on the Eclipse side feed, the ink really goes far. It really is exciting what you can do with India Ink, and that's something that nobody was doing. You know, I was doing the India Ink for the underpaintings, but I wasn't doing full realized paintings, and nobody was doing it, and I was like, I wonder why nobody's doing it. Because it seems like the airbrush really needs something thin like the ink. I think acrylic is not optimal for this this tool. The trapezius right here. I want to make sure we indicate that. There's going to be some hairs here and there. I just want to indicate the trapezius because we are looking down. We're from the perspective standing up, and she's kneeling in this particular pose, and I took the photograph of Angela. That's the thing about these live streams, Louis. This hour goes so fast. I have so much fun, you know, sharing this technique with everybody. Louis, you really have to try it. It just flows, and look, very little tip dry, very little. Once in a blue moon. Okay, so I've been working 8 hours today. I had tip dry 3 times, and you know, if you all know, working with acrylic, you have tip dry maybe every 15 minutes. And it just gets darker and richer, and you just build it up. It just really wants to, this is a medium that wants to work with the airbrush. stand a little bit. Oh, that feels good. Okay. There's a nice dark, not on this side, but on this side of her jaw. So you really have to pay attention. What side is that dark on? So I'm going to take one of my freehand shields that's perfect for that, which is this one here. And it's much easier to find the contour of the jaw. So we'll go like that, a good distance away, and we'll just hit that nicely. See that? And we get that nice, beautiful edge. Then we can take our eraser, and if we missed anything, or if that edge is a little straight, we can go ahead and adjust that. So really, really fantastic. In pencil, that would have taken a long time. But this is the best of all worlds. Best of drawing, best of airbrush, hardly any tip dry. And you just build Louis from light to dark, you know? You're just building slowly, you're taking your time. There's no rush. Then at the very end, when you come in with the really nice darks and the lights, it just sort of explodes into a finished state. It's just really a good feeling. You're like, whoa. When I was doing this this painting yesterday, it looked really wishy-washy, guys. And all of a sudden, when I came in with the darks, let me see if I can show that to you. I'm going to show you this one. So this one was really wishy-washy, but it was only because I was working on the midtones and the shapes. And then when I came in with the darks, like right here with the highlights, it just sort of snapped into a finished state. It was really cool. So that's what it is. This technique, it sort of just builds slowly. It looks like nothing's happening. You just, you know, do the other parts correctly, and then all of a sudden you just have something that is really impressive. Yeah, this is very fluid, very quick. It's like watercolor, you know. You're working very fast, and it dries immediately almost. Yeah, I would say within seconds, because it's such a thin application, you know. You're working so thinly. We can do some like really beautiful creases in the skin, or some artists call it contour on the inside. Now contours on the inside such as this are really fuzzy, very wispy, and when I come in with the white and darken things up, that's going to look even better. This is like an establishment of those creases. And it just gives a little clarity. It also tells me where I have to go darker. Okay guys, so this is where we are. So we got some really good good establishment of some of the darks, and we're gonna basically develop some of the lights a little bit, maybe work on the hair, sort of reiterate some of the contours of the hair, make this more of a hard edge in the near future. right? Just sort of get some of the shape of the hair, bring that all together. Some of the wispy hairs, darken the eyes, develop everything. But little by little, things are really going to happen, and you know, it's going to be great every week. So Louis, 15 sheets, that's cool. So I'm definitely going to check out that paper. I really appreciate it. Glad to have you aboard. Wendy, always great, and Brian was here. I think Willie and Jeff. So we had, you know, Mr. Koopman. So we had a nice group today. So next Wednesday at 9 o'clock, 9:30, I'll let you guys know. So email me so I can send you a quick email blast of when it's gonna, but I'm also gonna put it on YouTube as a reminder too. So thank you so much for joining me, guys. Really appreciate it. I hope you have a great week, and I will talk to you pretty soon. Take care of yourselves.